When they face off old friend Des Bryant and the Ravens. Dallas is coming off a beating at the hands of Washington on Thanksgiving. On that note, we bring in NFL Network's Kyle Brandt of Good Morning Football. Kyle's been with us before. We had a really good time and great to have you back with us. So good morning to you, Kyle. I know you've already been doing a lot of television, so I'm just going to roll right into it and start with you, sir. Thanks for being here.
Let's go.
How should the Cowboys feel going into this tough matchup with Baltimore?
Well, they got to answer the tough questions, and I'll just say it right now. The questions the Cowboys have to answer is Stephen A. going to use dark chocolate chips or milk chocolate chips on Sunday when he makes the batch of cookies? Is he going to go whole milk or 2% milk to celebrate this loss?
Well, I'm going to do the 2% because I'm lactate intolerant, so I'm going to do the 2%. But I will say this. My sister Carmen is the one that makes that decision, not me. You understand what I'm saying?
Huge
She's the one
respect
that
to
makes
Carmen.
chocolate chip cookies.
Maybe some almond milk. They're worried about the cookies. They're not worried about Ben Simmons mid-range. They're worried that Lamar's going to play. They're worried that Zeke can't hold on to the ball because he's holding all their money. They're worried that maybe they should try the 15th fake punt of the season, even though the first 14 haven't happened. You know what they're thinking? Can we just lose? How about just a respectable 27-14 loss where we're not embarrassed? At this point, that does feel like a win for Dallas. That's where we're at.
Listen, how should Cowboy fans feel?
Yeah.
My hope would be miserable. It's Thanksgiving. It's approaching Christmas. And that means that Dallas Cowboy fans are doomed to be very, very miserable, which makes me very, very happy. I think people think I hate the Cowboys. No, I don't hate the Cowboys. I hate their fans. I think that the fans are the worst in American history. I can't stand Cowboy fans. I despise them. All right, so it's a good thing, and I'm happy about that. But I will tell you this, Kyle. I watched it the other morning. I really appreciated your take on the Las Vegas Raiders and the way they wet the bed against the Falcons last week. The way to get at them because they deserved every bit of it. The Cowboys have been so awful. It's gotten to a point where it's almost difficult to laugh at them because you run out of things to laugh at them about. Your quarterback situation. You certainly ain't happy that Dak Prescott got himself injured. But I remember when Andy Dalton was chewing out the offensive lineman, and then a few plays later he got concussed and knocked out by a member from the Washington football team. Ezekiel Elliott, for some reason, suddenly can't hold on to the ball. Maybe he need to go to Cabo and chill for a few weeks and then come back and learn, or just cheat and apply Velcro or stick them to his hands or something. Can't hold on to the damn football. And then you've got receivers like, CeeDee Lamb. He even dropped the pass for crying out loud, but we know he can ball. You got CeeDee and Amari and Gallup. Gallup's basically been non-existent because CeeDee Lamb is that new dude with Amari Cooper. And on the defensive side of the ball, to me, I hold Coach Mike McCarthy accountable for bringing in that defensive coordinator. The last time we saw the man, Nolan, he was defensive coordinator in Atlanta. They had the 31st ranked defense in the NFL. He was out of the business for 6 years, meaning as a coordinator, and somehow you would think to bring him back. And this is after you got the Dallas Cowboys job and try to convince us that you saw the error of your ways and you were trying to be a bit more innovative and not archaic, but you bring back the same old dude the last time we saw him 6 years earlier could have produced. So they deserve what they get. As a result, the fans should feel miserable, and they should feel so miserable that they've reached the conclusion maybe it's time for us to give up on them for a damn change instead of thinking they're going to win the Super Bowl.
You guys are missing it, especially you, Stephen A. I'm shocked and disappointed in you. First of all, let me say, I hate the Cowboys. Forget about the fans. I know a lot of Cowboys fans. The fact of the matter is, if you have a soul and you root for an out-of-market team and you're around our age, Stephen A., you should root for the Steelers. Those were the people with souls. And then the terrible people rooted for the Cowboys. So I get your point, but I actually hate the Cowboys. Hate the Cowboys. I'm a Giants fan. I hate them. Let me just say, though, Stephen A., it's your philosophy. It's your theory I'm going to borrow from here. The Cowboys build you up first, and then they let you down. It's not time yet. Look, they recently narrowly lost to Pittsburgh and beat a Vikings team that had just cleaned out the NFC North. They beat all the rivals in the NFC North, and then the Cowboys beat them, right? Look at the rest of their schedule. The Ravens on a short week, dealing with COVID. Then the Bengals. Those are winnable games, guys. Then the Niners, who they can play defense still. We saw it against the Rams, but that's not an unbeatable team. Then the Eagles and Giants. Guys, they're only one game out of first place. Yes, the Cowboys will break their fans' hearts, but they're not going to fall 2 games out of first place or 3 games out of first place already. They have to keep their fans' hopes alive so that ultimately they can crush them. Stephen A., how'd you miss that?
I didn't miss it. We all have our preferences.
Didn't miss
You
it.
focus on stuff that I don't particularly care about when it comes to the Cowboys. I focus on what I care about. The fact of the matter is the Cowboys already stink. I would have preferred that they were a bit better and teased people into thinking they were relevant and then came crashing down. They've already crashed and they're damn near burning.
But Stephen
All right,
A., we
fellas.
can't.
Can
I'm sorry, Molly. We can't keep
No,
mentioning.
go ahead.
they
Last
lost their
word, yeah.
quarterback. We can't keep mentioning they lost their quarterback.
I know.
Washington's quarterback almost lost his leg. The
Yeah,
Giants
whole
lost
line.
their quarterback. The Eagles quarterback, I think, lost his mind. We're way past that. It's December right now. It's the season of miracles. Max, I love the letdown theory, but it's time to do it. The season's almost over. It's an embarrassment.
Okay. Works for me. I can go with
It
that.
is the season of miracles. Can Cleveland have a miracle? That's the next topic here, guys. Let's keep it moving. The 8-3 Browns facing a tough test this weekend when they face King Henry and the Titans in Nashville. Cleveland has won 3 straight and currently holding the 5 seed in the AFC playoff picture. Kyle, up first again. Do you believe in
This is
Baker and the
exciting.
crew?
Oh, yes. All right. Now, listen, if they go 9-3, that'll be their first time 9-3 since Bill Belichick was their coach. Before that, you have to go back to when Otis Redding was at the top of the charts. Otis Redding. That is how long it's been. This is exciting. But do you believe in them? I don't know if they have a star quarterback. I don't know if they have a primetime quarterback. Everybody keeps saying Baker hasn't thrown an interception in over a month. Well, he hasn't really been chucking it either. It's like a batter who says, I haven't struck out in a long time. We haven't swung the damn bat. Here's how I feel about the offense right now for the Browns. And Max, I don't know if you agree. I feel like when I watch their offense, I see some Vladimir Klitschko in them. In that Chubb and Hunt are this great jab. Hunt, Chubb, Hunt. But they're sitting here with this right hand just cocked. They go rounds, sometimes entire fights without throwing it. This is supposed to be your quarterback, your overhand right. And I don't know if Baker doesn't have the power or doesn't have the spine, but he's not throwing it. And I'll tell you something else they have in common with Klitschko. Few chin concerns, too, after what I've seen what Pittsburgh and Baltimore did with them, too. They're still searching for their mouth guard from that one.
Good analogy, although Klitschko had a devastating right hand. You couldn't tell when it was coming. Baker
Maybe
doesn't.
Baker does.
When you say, like, I don't know that they have a star quarterback, I know that they don't. He's not a star. He doesn't do it. Like, in college, he had that high completion percentage, and he projected to maybe be the best quarterback in the draft. It wasn't the case. He was throwing to wide open receivers, in fact. He does not have that kind of next level accuracy or speed or maybe even moxie at this point. It may have been beaten out of him by defenses in the NFL to be special. He is a game manager. He's a guy they try to hide. He was a guy I thought is just the opposite of what I thought he was. I thought he'd be really accurate and that he's just the guy you want for a big play. But in fact, he's okay. His arm is good enough. His accuracy is kind of good enough. He's sort of mobile enough to play in the NFL and to start. But he ain't going to get you there. He's loaded with weapons on offense. This is but when are they good with Chubb and Kareem Hunt and the reason is their quarterback isn't that great. He's okay. Baker is okay, and I don't believe in them.
Well, let me say this to you, Kyle. You know, occasionally I get a chance to watch you guys on the morning show.
Thanks, Stephen.
Kay Adams, Peter, and Nate Burleson is my brother. I've known him for a while. That's my brother right there.
Mine too.
I think you do an outstanding job. And I think one of the reasons you do an outstanding job is because you don't lie to the American people. So why the hell would you come on First Take and lie right now? You sat up there and said you don't know whether or not the Browns have a star quarterback. Yes, you do know. They don't. You do know this. There's no guessing here.
No lies detected, Stephen A.
Excuse me?
No lies detected.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I'll tell you why. All you need to do for Baker Mayfield this weekend, look across the field at the other sideline. Max, would you say a year ago that you loved Ryan Tannehill, or was he a middling sort of non-winner? He turned it around. He's knocking the Ravens out of the playoffs.
He was a bust. He was a bust. Yep.
I know. And now
Okay.
Baker. Look at
let me say this.
That could be Baker.
Let me say this. I'll say there ain't no damn star at the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Okay? Now, Baker Mayfield is not a scrub, but he's not the dude that you go like this, Kyle. Here you go. Could you take us there? He ain't that dude. The fact of the matter is, if you look at Cleveland's recent success and you really track it, everything is evolved around Nick Chubb. The fact that Nick Chubb is back in that lineup, the fact that he's been balling the way that he's been balling, running the football as effectively as he has, and to be honest, Odell Beckham Jr. is not there, even though he's a stud. Clearly, with him on the field, you're a Baker Mayfield. You might have felt a bit compromised inside. You might have needed to force him the ball as opposed to giving it a bit more to Jarvis Landry or Hooper or somebody else, even though Odell Beckham Jr., I saw plenty of games where he wasn't getting the football thrown to him enough. Let's give Kevin Stefanski a big credit because he said, look, manage the damn game. Let's run the football. Let's get at the quarterback on the defensive side of the ball. Let's make things happen. Let that be our formula for success. It ain't about no damn Baker Mayfield. So as I answered earlier in the show, do I believe in the Browns in terms of getting to the postseason and potentially making some noise? If I did, it would be because they can get to the quarterback and because they can run the football. And those two elements go with you anywhere. Is Baker Mayfield going to be that dude? Hell no. Let's just call
9-3, Stephen A. 9-3. Otis Redding. I started the conference. I've seen a lot of good Browns running backs come through there. I'm not seeing a lot of quarterbacks take them to 9-3. Well, Stefanski, he's an erudite Pennsylvania Quaker.
How's the Vikings offense now without Stefanski, though? It may be the right head coach, and I appreciate your point about Tannehill. Absolutely. Like, most guys are not Mahomes, who will be great independent of coaching, or Aaron Rodgers, but are best when they're with great coaching. Most guys are coaching independent. And Baker Mayfield's had 4 head coaches at one point in just about.
And why was that?
He had 4 head coaches.
Why was that? But hold it. He got Hugh Jackson fired appropriately so. He got Hugh Jackson go. He's the one that picked Freddie Kitchens. He picked Freddie Kitchens.
What does Baker Mayfield do extraordinarily well? He's okay. I'm not saying he's terrible, but what does he do when you look at him? You go, he's really good at that. What is that thing?
I think he's pretty funny in those commercials, Max. I gotta be honest. I think they're good.
Them damn progressive commercials. I'll give him credit for this.
Real quick, one more topic, guys.
Let me get
one
more. He's got
more
more wins now than progressive commercials.
Okay.
I'll give him credit for that.
Max, you're up first. How should Rodgers feel about the Tavon Austin signing? Max?
Come on, he should be upset. Come on, guys. You didn't help him out at all on offense in the draft. You drafted his successor. You didn't give him any defensive help. He's 37 years old. It's a slap in the face. Oh, look, you got a first rounder to throw to. Stop it.
Are you talking about Tavon Austin? You're talking about Kirkland Brand, Percy Harvin? His reaction is meh, M-E-H, meh. Max is all over it. This is the person who blows it on the anniversary, blows it with the gift on the birthday, and then Christmas comes around and they try to go big. They showed up with a chain restaurant gift card. Roger's saying, what am I supposed to do with this? Losing the playoffs again? It's probably what will happen.
Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot, surefire, future Hall of Famer. One of the greatest quarterbacks this game has ever seen. And he's thrown 2 passes in his career to a first-round wide receiver. 2. If that is not an indictment against the Green Bay Packers, I don't know what can be. It is a shame. It is a travesty that they have subjected him to that. And that's all I have to say.
All right, I will leave you with this. Kyle Brandt, always fun to have you on the show. I know you have a podcast as well.